So the Heart and Stroke Foundation looks to eliminate heart disease and stroke and its impact through three main areas: research, the promotion of healthy living, and advocacy. So we fund researchers from across the country looking to save people who have had a cardiac event or a stroke. We look to health promotion to help people prevent heart disease and stroke. So 80% of cardiac disease and stroke is actually preventable. So a lot of it is in our hands. The choices we make on a daily basis will impact what happens to us in the future. So that's why the nutrition aspect, so the health check program, and what you consume is so important. Your levels of physical activity, watching your blood pressure, reducing your smoking, and stress management obviously are very important to reducing your risk for heart disease and stroke. So when you go into the grocery store, there are so many choices for you to pick from, and there's always different advertisements and new news clips coming out about different foods that you're supposed to eat that are healthy, and it can be overwhelming for consumers. So the Health Check program is our answer to help Canadians make those healthy choices. So one of the most difficult parts of eating healthy is figuring out what to eat exactly. There's so much media out there and advertisements telling you what's healthy, and always something in the newspaper, a new piece of food you're supposed to eat. So it can be overwhelming. So the Health Check program is there to make it easier on Canadians so that you can follow the guidelines our dietitians have set and eat a healthier life. Samara, registered dietitian from the Heart and Stroke Foundation's Health Check program, is here today to take us on a tour of the grocery store to help us make healthy choices.
So today we're at the Co-op on 33rd Street in Saskatoon, and we're going to be doing a grocery store tour based on Canada's Food Guide, where I'll be pointing out, based on the food groups, some healthier choices. So I really think the first step to healthy eating is planning. So taking stock of what's in your cupboard. Open on up those cupboards and see what's in there. Looking for some healthy staples. The more healthy staples you have at home, the less time you're going to be spending in the grocery store. So you want to plan your meals and your snacks at least a week in advance. So this will mean getting your recipes out, making a list. Get your family involved in this process. You can make last-minute substitutions if you need to, because some of your kids might not like some of the ingredients, and it can also be a teaching point too. So if you have an ingredient on there that they've not encountered before, like kiwi or avocado or eggplant, you can teach them about that. It also gives your family some control over what they're eating for the week. So if you have picky eaters, this would be great as well. You can also visit healthcheck.org for planning tips and resources, as well as recipes. We have a number of great recipes on the website with the nutrition information. Choosing your recipes in advance is really going to enable you to compare them to Canada's Food Guide. But when you're planning your meal, you want to aim for at least 3 to 4 out of your food groups at each of those meals, and a snack, 2 out of 4 of the food groups at each meal. So now that we're finished with our planning, we're going to go on our healthy grocery shopping tour. Come with me. Here we go.
Are you shopping?
I'm shopping now. Okay, so here we are in the cereal aisle. I think one of the most important things that we can do for healthy eating is to review the nutrition facts panel. So I'm going to grab this cereal box here, and we're going to check out the facts panel to see if it's a healthier choice. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the nutrition facts, or the serving size. So all of the nutrition information in this table is based on the serving size. So if you eat double the serving size, you have to double all the nutrition information. The second piece we want to look at is the percent DV, which is the percent daily value. Most products don't have the same serving size. So if we look at these two, you can see this one's based on a cup, and this one is based on 3/4 of a cup. So when we're comparing similar products, the serving size is going to be different. So the percent DV is going to enable us to compare both of those products on an even scale. When we're thinking about nutrients to limit, like fat or sodium, we're going to want a lower percent DV. And when we're thinking about nutrients to increase, like calcium, fiber, or protein, we're going to want to look for a higher percent DV. So some other things that we are looking for is information on the front of the package. So you might see claims like source of fiber, low in fat, no added salt. Those are called nutrient content claims, but they're only highlighting one aspect of the food. So what you need to do is use those claims to find a healthier product, but also reference them using the nutrition facts panel. So just because something is high in fiber does not necessarily mean it's low in fat and sugar, which are nutrients that you're looking to limit. So after looking at serving size and percent DV, we also want to reference the ingredient list. So this tells you really what's in your product and how healthy the product is. All of the ingredients are listed in descending order. So we'll look at this one here, and it says whole grain oat as the first ingredient, so that's great. If it is a negative nutrient in that first spot or second spot, that might not be the healthiest choice. Another thing that you might see on the front of the package is the health check logo. So when you see this logo, it means that that product has been reviewed against nutrient criteria based on Canada's Food Guide and been reviewed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation dietitians. So health check is really one way the foundation is helping Canadians eat well. Oh, here's a great tip. What I like to do is use whole grain unsweetened cereal to replace crackers on top of my soup, as well as croutons in my salad. Here we are in the produce section. So we have a number of fruit and vegetables here. So let's reference our food guide to see how many servings we need. So if we reference our food guide, we can see that we need between 7 and 10 servings a day of vegetables and fruit. So what does a serving look like? It can be 1 cup of leafy greens, it can be half a cup of fresh frozen or canned fruit or vegetables, or half a cup of 100% juice. So what I like to do to try to increase the number of vegetables that I can get so I can get to those daily servings is use pureed vegetables. So like potatoes, squash, cauliflower, those are really great options to thicken stews and soups or to add to pasta sauces. So you're not only getting extra nutrients, you're also getting an added textural profile as well as flavor. So we all know that fresh vegetables and fruit are healthy choices, but so are canned and frozen. And these can be great in the off season when the vegetables may not be in season. And they can also be budgetary choices as well. So when choosing canned vegetables, you're going to want to look for cans that are no salt added or low in sodium. If you can't find this option, then rinse your vegetables because that will rinse off the excess sodium. When you're looking for canned fruit, try to look for canned fruit that is packed in 100% juice or in light syrup. So sometimes it's a challenge for parents to find something fun and interesting to put in their child's lunch. So looking at the nutrition facts panel for the percent DV, you're going to want to look for positive nutrients, higher percent DV, and negative nutrients, lower percent DV. So these are a great example of something that you could put in your kid's lunch and it's a healthier choice. And it's 100% real fruit. So what I like to do before I go to the grocery store when I'm making my list is I want to look at recipes that I can make bigger batches of, so like lasagna or chili. And then I can freeze them and pre-portion them, which makes healthy eating on the fly really easy. Or buying vegetables or fruits or stuff that I can cut up and put in my fridge so I can really access them quickly. So cut up vegetables for stir fries or with low-fat dips as a snack. Pre-prepared hummus and some pita chips, yogurt and granola. This will enable you to eat healthier on the go. So here we are in the meat section. Canada's Food Guide recommends that we get 2 to 3 servings of meat per day. And so what does a serving look like? It's actually only 2.5 ounces, which is the size of a deck of cards. So probably most of us are getting that in one meal, dinner. So really being cognizant of what the serving size looks like is going to help you get those 2 to 3 servings a day. So plain meat, fish and poultry is not going to have a nutrition facts table. So you're really going to need to go by the description here. So when you're buying poultry, buying skinless or buying it with the skin on and then taking the skin off at home, if you're looking for ground meats, looking for lean or extra lean on the description is going to point you in the direction of a healthier choice. So the food guide also recommends at least 2 servings of fish per week. So some great examples are salmon, sardines, trout, char, mackerel, and herring. So when you're preparing the fish, rather than frying it, concentrate on healthier cooking methods like baking, broiling, grilling, or barbecuing. Another great alternative to fresh fish is canned fish, packed in water. So if you don't eat meat, some great alternatives would be eggs, peanut butter, hummus, or cooked beans. Beans are a great meat alternative, and they're also a budget-friendly choice. You can either buy dried beans or canned beans. If you're choosing canned beans, make sure you're choosing ones that are low in sodium. If you can't find this, then you just rinse them with water so that you're rinsing the sodium off. So I'm going to choose some dried beans, and I'm going to put those in my cart. So here we are in dairy. Dairy products are a great way to get the calcium that we need. In this section, what we really want to look for are products that are lower percentage milk fat, so 2% milk fat or less. So if we're looking at yogurt, this is a great option, 2% milk fat or less. Also, when choosing yogurt, choose plain yogurt because the flavored kind can have more sugar. So Canada's Food Guide recommends that we get at least 2 servings of milk or alternates a day. So similar to the yogurts, when we're looking for milk products, we want to concentrate on the milk fat, so 2% or less. So this will be a great choice here because I'm looking at the label and it says 2% milk fat. So I'm going to put this one in my cart. If I don't consume milk, another good alternative is fortified soy beverages. But what you want to concentrate on here is that it actually says fortified so that you know you're getting the same amount of calcium and nutrients as you would in a glass of milk. Also, choose plain, similar to the yogurts, because the flavored ones tend to be higher in sugar. So again, check the nutrition facts panel, compare 2 products. When we're looking for cheeses, what we want to look for are cheeses that are lower in fat. So what does that mean? 20% milk fat or less. So if I pick up this right here and I see 18% milk fat, so it's going in my cart. So here we are in grain products. The Food Guide recommends that we consume 6 to 8 servings of grain products a day. And half of those servings should be whole grain. So in order to make sure they're whole grain, what we want to do is check the nutrition facts panel as well as check the ingredient list. So it says whole grain on the front here. So I'm going to look at the ingredient list and see what it says. It should say as the first or second ingredient, whole grain, and then the name of the grain. So for example, whole grain whole wheat or whole grain rye. So I'm going to check the ingredient list and it says whole grain whole wheat. So I know that this is a good product. But also to be cognizant of when you see multi-grain, that might not necessarily mean that this product is a whole grain. So again, you need to refer to the nutrition facts panel as the first or second ingredient to make sure it's a good choice. So this one is going in my cart. So some good tips to increase my whole grains in my diet, in baking especially, would be to substitute half of your all-purpose flour with whole wheat flour. Most of the time people think of breads when they're thinking of increasing their grain content, but why not try whole grains such as bulgur, barley, quinoa, couscous. These are great as side dishes or as additions to soups or salads. So I'm going to take this whole wheat flour as I think it's a good choice for my baking today, and I'm going to put it in my cart. Other great ways to increase my whole grains are to have brown rice instead of white rice or whole grain pasta instead of white pasta. So this one here is a good choice, whole wheat, so it's also going to go in my cart. So here we are and looking at processed food. So this aisle is where consumers find it very intimidating because there's lots of products here and they vary nutritionally. So what we want to concentrate on here is really reading the nutrition facts panel. So as we learned earlier, looking at that percent DV, looking for both positive and negative nutrients and comparing those products. But I think I have enough healthy staples on my shelf at home, so I'm not going to pick up anything today. So I've got lots of healthy options in my cart, which is wonderful because the Heart and Stroke Foundation really encourages Canadians to eat from scratch at home. So as you've seen today, healthy eating is really easy to do. So if you're looking for tips, resources, or recipes, check out healthcheck.org.
So for more information about the Heart and Stroke Foundation and our Heart Check program, you can go to heartandstroke.ca and click on the Saskatchewan provincial website for information about programs offered here in the province of Saskatchewan.